We can be deep for our diving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's daily reflection. Today is December 28th. It is Tuesday, and I hope we are all having a warm day here in Colorado. It's kind of cool, man. Kind of cool. Morning, Lori. It's good to see you. I hope you had a great holiday, hon. It looks like a lot of at least a lot of people I know had a pretty good Christmas, man. We're all still sober. We're all still here. The cool thing when it comes to that's Lori. That's exactly why I started playing. I actually want to touch on that. So that theme song is written. And it was written and composed and sang and played by my niece. Right? She's extremely talented. So she put a lot of hard work into it. I'm very proud of that song, especially the ending. I love the words, "Where there's a will, there's a way." Yes. Awesome stuff. Thank you, Lori. So I'm going to be reading from both books today just because, I think they both have something to say. They kind of mesh together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read from the Daily Reflections, and then I'm going to read from the 12 by 12, and then one day at a time. And that's kind of what we'll go through. Now, for newcomers, willingness. We're going to be talking about willingness today. But anytime we talk about willingness, you could pretty much plan on honesty and open-mindedness being in there with it. These three words go together. They are the how of our program: honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. Okay? If you're ever wondering, what do I need to do? That's the how of the program. And I believe in having a very, very solid foundation, because some days you're just not going to have a good day, man. It happens, and you have your foundation to fall back on. So, the joy of living, which was originally what this was going to be called, but the whole thing isn't about the joy of living. Sorry, I just wanted to do this, blah, blah, blah. Therefore, the joy of good living is the theme of AA's 12th step. But I'm just going to read out of here because you guys don't know what I do. Never mind. I don't know why I'm explaining it. AA is a joyful program. Even so, I occasionally balk at taking necessary steps to move ahead and finding myself resisting the very actions that could bring me the joy that I want. I do that sometimes. I'll balk at something, because maybe it seems a little bit harder, even though I know that I'm going to get something out of it. So what do we do? Well, we go back to being willing. Can you be willing to do it? I'm going to balk at it, but yeah, I'm willing to do it. Good chance you might get it done now. I would not resist if those actions did not touch some vulnerable area of my life, an area that probably needs hope and fulfillment. So if you're going through that, take a look at it. Maybe you're going through something. In fact, there's a very good chance that you are. Maybe it's not something right at the moment. Maybe that particular moment reminded you of something. We call them triggers. And we have to be aware of our triggers. I think addicts have a little bit harder time with triggers than alcoholics do. We alcoholics are flooded with alcohol ads all the day, so we become desensitized to that kind of shit. So I couldn't imagine having to what it would be like being a needle user and then seeing one out of nowhere. I don't know what that's like. So I'm very careful on what I post and how I post things. Repeated exposure to joyfulness has a way of softening the heart out of outer edges of my ego. Therein lies the power of joyfulness to help all members of AA. One of the reasons that I really love my group is because they make me fucking laugh. They make me laugh. I will be in a bad mood. I will go into that meeting. 2 minutes later, I'm laughing. Okay, and I need it. I need that. Here's a good one. I like this. Lori is saying being open-minded is what helped me. Once I began to listen, I was able to learn. Yeah, because she didn't have all this other crap running around in her head telling her what to do, right? So now I'm going to read out of ODAT. Okay. We have people over, and I thought I heard my voice, but it was someone else. I'm like, where's my voice coming from? The success of the program, I've been taught, lies in large measure in the readiness and willingness of its members to go to any length to help others tyrannized by their addictions, willing to go to any length to help somebody else. If my readiness and my willingness cools, then I stand in danger of losing all that I've gained. I must never become unwilling to give away what I have, for only by doing so will I be privileged to keep it. Do I take to heart the saying, out of self into God, into others? So, you guys, willingness is, you just never get rid of it. Never. Don't take advantage of it either. Okay, it doesn't appreciate being taken advantage of either, right? How about just do the right fucking thing? Let's go with that. May I never be too busy to answer a fellow addict's call for help. You guys hear me say this all the time. Take it out of your fucking vocabulary. I'm too busy. No, you are not too busy. Okay? I'm too busy to help you. You. Don't let Lori and I hear you say that. Because we will probably be overly nice to you and teach you a fucking lesson. We're like that. Lori and I are very abrupt, nice people about things. But we know what we're talking about. So may I never become so wound up in my pursuits that I forget that my own continuing recovery depends on that helping. A half hour or so on the telephone, a call in person, a lunch date, whatever the situation calls for. May I know what my priorities must be. God, I'm loving this reading. Today I'll remember helping helps me. So if you don't know your priorities, write them down. Every day. Every day. I write them down. Sometimes, they move to the next step. I'm going to read out 12 by 12 and read out the 12th step. Next time we got. Sorry, I sometimes I forget here. That's what Lori said. We are, as a matter of fact, the same type of people. Right, Lori's got some other cool shit to say here, guys. Willing to take the steps to achieve something new because the old one's not working. Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. The old way ain't working. Do you want to try a different one? And if you don't like what we're offering, we'll refund your misery. All right. It's hard to figure. I'm going to start right here. But not so when alcoholics. When AA was quite young, a number of eminent psychologists and doctors made an exhaustive study of a good-sized group of so-called problem drinkers. The doctors were not trying to find out how different we were from one another. They sought to find whatever personality traits, if any, this group of alcoholics had in common. They're not going to have hardly any in common. They finally came up with a conclusion and shocked the AA members of the time. These distinguished men had the nerve to say, sorry. I think this is funny. These distinguished men had the nerve to say that most alcoholics under investigation were childish, emotionally sensitive, and grandiose. I'm laughing because it's so fucking true. And then we get into the rooms and we whine like little fucking babies. We can't even pick one, man. How we alcoholics resented that verdict. We would not believe that our adult dreams were often truly childish. Oh my God, they are, guys. They are, but they could be fun. Just wait. And considering the rough deal life had given us, we felt it perfectly natural that we were sensitive. As to our grandiose behavior, we insisted we had been possessed by nothing but a high and legitimate ambition to win the battle of life. In the years since, however, most of us have come to agree with those doctors because they are right. Okay, so why is that? I'll give you. I'm going to tell you why we're that way. Let's say you started drinking at 12. Okay, well, alcohol and drugs stunt your emotion. They stunt you emotionally. Okay, so when you sobered up, that means you were 12 emotionally. Okay, and you're not going to be able to have your cake and eat it too, guys. Well, you're going to be able to, but you're going to have to do a lot of fucking work for it. And that's okay, because it's really good cake. We have seen that we were prodded by unreasonable fears or anxieties into making a life business of winning fame, money, and that we thought that was leadership. So false pride became the reverse side of the ruinous coin marked fear. We simply had to be number one people to cover up our deep lying inferiorities. And that's what we're doing. We are trying to say, hey, look what I can do over here so we can sneak in drinks over here. And that's what we're doing. We simply had to be number one. Okay, if we didn't have much of any world success, we became depressed and cowed. Then people said we were the inferior type. But now we see ourselves as chips off the old same block. At heart, we had to be abnormally fearful. It mattered little whether we had sat on the shore of life drinking ourselves into forgetful or had plunged in recklessly and willfully beyond our depth and ability. The result was the same. All of us had nearly perished in the sea of alcohol. Damn. I better drink some water today. I'm dehydrated. But today, in well-matured AAs, these distorted drives have been restored to something like their true purpose and direction. We no longer strive to dominate or rule those about us in order to gain self-importance. We no longer seek fame and honor in order to be praised. When by devoted service to family, friends, business, or community, we attract widespread affection and sometimes are singled out for posts of greater responsibility and trust. We try to be humbly grateful and exert ourselves the more the spirit of love and service. True leadership, we find, depends upon able example and not under vain displays of power or glory. Love it. Love it. Everything that I do, okay, whether it's my podcast, whether it's coming on here doing my daily reflection, working with a sponsee, talking with my children, my neighbors watching me, okay, I do the right thing all the time. That's what I do. Okay. Because the way that I see it is I'm an example. Before, I was not a very good example. So I can't really get on here and say, hey guys, we need to do this, we need to do that, if I am not doing it myself, right? So I'm actually going to stop right there, because if I go into these next paragraphs, I'll probably talk for another 10, 15 minutes, and we're at our mark. That's funny as hell, trying to tell a 50-year-old who is newly getting sober that they are mostly 12-year-olds due to their substance abuse. I know. How are you going to tell them that? You know, I do it, but you got to, people tend to understand, that we did do it that way. But that's a very good point, Lori. I didn't go through it. I was actually quite happy with the fact that my problem was me and that I could fix that. So I think I was so happy about that portion that I forgot that, Lori. So thank you for bringing up, but that is funny in a sense that, I'm 50. You're telling me I'm 12 years old. All right. We're having fun here today, guys. All right. That's going to be it for today. I'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, good point. You just say it. I'll be back tomorrow. Daily reflection. And maybe we can work on some more of those fun emotions. All right. Have a great day, guys. I love you. Peace out. And